Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor on a Saturday afternoon when I'm normally not here. However, we have a huge opportunity right now, and we want to make sure that we are prepared for it. My job is not to just entertain, but it's to educate and teach and share a community with you. So I feel a weight of responsibility, and I do enjoy that, to bring you the best information, unedited, unscripted, and also warn and protect you from yourselves and myself for that matter too. Tilray Brands and this whole sector could explode on Monday morning. We want to be ready, but we also want to have a strategy and be prepared. So let's go straight into it and discuss what's coming up on this live stream. We'll be talking about Tilray, ticker symbol TLRY, and others. Donald Trump has his finger on the button. Will it be a pump and dump? How do the board feel? What are the insiders going to do? What have they already been doing? 10X. Many are calling for a 10X on Monday morning within hours. We're already up a good way, but 10X? Really? On Monday? Well, yeah, absolutely. It could happen, but we need to know how to deal with it if it does. And what affects you most? That's a key point, and we'll talk about that in a few moments. So it's going to be a big day on Monday in this sector. There's no question about it. Some of you are going to win and some of you are going to lose. That's just the way it works. I hope to make sure that the Lucasades are on the winning side. So are we going to go up on Monday, or are we going to crash? Many are saying we are about to go, you've heard of it, to the moon. We like to talk about it here on this show, of standing on the moon. A little bit more control. So let's get ready. We're doing the numbers. We're going into outer space right now, because if we get what we expect on Monday, we're going to feel like we are in outer space. So if you like this sector and you'd like to support this, and you'd like this video live stream to trend today, tap the like button. You're more likely to see my content in the future, and you're sharing it to others. Thank you very much. Consider subscribing to it. And if you subscribe to it, as always, we will thank you with the little fellas. The little fellas would love it if you would tap the like button. Thank you very much, said the little fellas. Right, let's get to it. Cannabis, Tilray, let's talk about it. Let's see how it all works out for Monday morning. Well, the last few days, you've probably not missed this. However, be aware that 99% of the world doesn't even invest in the stock market. 99% of those that invest in the stock market do not invest in this sector. And probably about 80% of those that do invest in the stock market and do invest in this sector are not aware of this news. So you are kind of in a privileged few to be aware of it as it happens. Don't assume that everybody else knows it. They don't. And I'm not making this up. You can find this out from Google Trends and see what people are searching. Why is this? Well, it's lost favor. People haven't been paying much attention to it recently because there's been lots of stop and go in the sector, promising to reclassify, reschedule forever and ever and ever. And it keeps coming and going and missing and passing and all the rest of it. So many people have lost faith. The company have lost faith. The board, we spoke about that a few moments ago. The board have kind of lost faith as well. The board has been infighting. Erwin Simon has been fighting his own board. The board itself have been selling and dumping. You'd be thinking they'd be all buying, but they haven't. So let's talk about the news, and then we'll cover what affects you, the pump and dump, and what Donald Trump is going to do on Monday. So if you all tap the like button, I hope you have. Very slow this afternoon. See, not many people are even focusing on this anymore. So you are kind of like getting an inside track here, and consider subscribing. Let's start off then with the factor grades and the news. So first of all, we look at the factor grades, and we can see that using my software that I can provide you a link to, this is Seeking Alpha. You can get a free trial and a discount. Without my link, you can't. Valuation has gone from A to A. Nothing has changed. Can't really go up any higher, but it can certainly go down. So it's always been a good valuation at this level if you believe the company can survive. Growth, gone from A to D. It's gone down, growing. Now, you might consider that's a time to buy because, again, there's not much going on in the sector. It's kind of given up. So is it about to explode, or is it a pump and dump? Profitability has gone from B to C. That's worse as well. Momentum, that's up. D- to B-. Revisions, D up to B. So some mixed information there. Let's move on to our analysis, first of all, of the business, and then we'll talk about Donald Trump. So we're all familiar with the business, but for those who aren't, the main story is Tilray Brands is bringing you, and what it hopes to bring you, reclassified for medical purposes, the use of cannabis, to reschedule it. At the moment, it's regarded the same as a Class A drug. Heroin, cocaine, all of these things, and we don't want that. We want it to be reclassified so you can use this, and in Canada and other parts of the world it is, but not in the United States. Once that happens and it's reclassified, it's the companies have a whole, it's called a banking structure. The way they can operate their business, a lot more profitable. You can advertise that they're taxed differently, and all the rest of it. It's the day the floodgates open once this happens. And tomorrow, on Monday rather, Donald Trump has said he's going to sign an executive order. We'll talk about that in a moment. What does that really mean? Anyway, so for those who don't know, Tilray Brands is a global lifestyle consumer products company focused on the cannabis, beverage, wellness, and entertainment sectors, headquartered in Leamington, Canada, and New York. Tilray operates across several continents, including North America, Europe, Australia, and Latin America. The company is structured into 4 main segments: beverage, cannabis, distribution, and wellness. It offers a comprehensive range of products such as medical and adult use cannabis, pharmaceutical and wellness products, beverages, and hemp-based food items. Tilray Brands include well-known names like Sweetwater Brewing, Montauk Brewing, and Manitoba Harvest, among others. During the downturn, you saw Irwin Simon move more into the brewery sector. I wasn't too thrilled about that. It didn't remain focused on the main core reason why we invested. Some people bailed out at that point. I didn't like it. I used to be in this stock myself, and I was calling for it to go to $40. Well, now we could go to $100 because obviously we've been watered down anyway. We've had a reverse split to provide cash for the business because they're running out of money. However, with everything's happening, it's always possible. Now we'll talk about whether it happens or not and what's the likelihood further in this video. So Tilray Cannabis operations are significant, with the company being a leading supplier of medical cannabis for over 20 countries. Its cannabis products, which include flower, pre-rolls, vapes, topicals, and edibles, are distributed under various brand names such as Tilray Medical, Afria, and Broken Coast. The company is also the 4th largest craft brewer in the United States, with a presence in the craft spirits market through Breckenridge Distillery. In addition to its long presence in the cannabis and beverage markets, Tilray is expanding its footprint through strategic acquisitions such as acquiring craft beer brands from Molson Coors. The company continues to focus on innovation and consumer insights to drive growth and maintain its competitive edge. With operations in countries like Portugal and Germany, Tilray is well positioned to capitalize on international growth opportunities in both the cannabis and wellness sectors. Competitors and unique value. Tilray Brands faces competition from several companies in the cannabis and beverage sectors. Significant competitors include Canopy Growth, another major competitor in the cannabis market, known for its extensive portfolio and global reach. Cronus Group, the company has improved its balance sheet and achieved a net cash position, positioning it well for potential future acquisitions and market expansions. Tilray's ongoing right-sizing initiatives, such as Project 420, are anticipated to result in significant cost savings and improved margins in the coming fiscal years. Right, now we look at the analysis and then we'll cover the news. So first of all, valuation. Tilray trades an attractive valuation with the EV sales of 1.22, which is 70% cheaper than the sector median of 4. This suggests the stock is undervalued relative to its peers. Growth. Tilray's growth metrics are underwhelming. The revenue growth year-over-year is 2%, significantly lower than the sector median of 7%. This highlights a slower expansion pace compared to its peers. Profitability. The company's profitability is weak with a net income margin of negative 2.59%, drastically below the sector median of 1%. So you have to consider that when we think about, will the stock pop on this news? Profit, cash flow is everything. This indicates challenges in converting sales into profits. Momentum. Tilray's stock momentum is mixed with a 6-month price performance of 98%, significantly outperforming the sector's 12%, indicating a bullish sentiment in the short term. Revisions. Recent earnings revisions are mixed with 5 upward revisions and 1 downward, indicating a cautious but slightly optimistic outlook from analysts. In summary, Tilray demonstrates strong short-term momentum and attractive valuation, but faces challenges in growth and profitability. This mixed performance results in a hold rating, suggesting it may perform in line with its sector peers. All right, now we're not going to read what these analysts have to say because they're seeking alpha analysts and they are paid for this. I could do the same thing and I refuse to do it. I don't take paid sponsorship or paid analysis from anyone. I don't actually believe in doing that. Right, so now we're going to come on to the news and then we're going to look at the balance sheet as well. So first of all, if you've just tuned in, please tap the like button if you want to support this channel and more likely get to see it. I really do appreciate it. And please consider subscribing. And if you like and subscribe, this time I will thank you with the little ladies. There you go. The little ladies appreciate it when you tap the like button and consider subscribing. Thank you very much indeed. Right, let's move on now to the news of the day. So cannabis stocks post record weekly gains on rescheduling hopes. Now, we've been here before many times, been promised this many times. So, like I mentioned at the beginning, and we will cover these points again in detail, I did mention pump and dump, the board, 10X, and what affects you most. I will come back onto that in a moment. We've been here before, but is this time for real? My job isn't just to entertain, but educate and support you and protect you in many cases from yourself. Remember, it's easy to make money. The hard part is to keep it. There is a reason why I've gone from $5,000 all the way to 288,000. And you can see from my wins now, which are now updated, 108 trades and 103 wins. And the once or twice I did lose was on purpose to show you how you can't manipulate the stock. Very, very important. All right. So if I look at my stocks and ETFs, year to date, I'm up 41%, and I'm only in the S&P 500. I've only just introduced Coca-Cola. So I've outperformed the market by quite some way. So it's not about winning. It's about not losing. That makes you a winner. So we've had this news before. Will Monday be different? Advisor shares Pure US Cannabis, which represents US multi-state operators and other major cannabis ETFs. Advise shares Pure Cannabis, Amplify Alternatives, and Amplify Cannabis are all posted their best weekly rallies in reaction to the news. Among leading MSOs, Cresco Labs, Green Thumb Industries, and True Live Cannabis recorded their best ever weekly gains, while Terra Ascend and Curaleaf Holdings also posted double-digit percentage gains. Okay, now Tilray closed 65% higher, its best weekly gain ever, standing out from other leading Canadian licensed producers such as Canopy Growth, Cronus, Aurora Cannabis, SNDL, and Oregani Graham Holdings. In 2024, the DOJ proposed to move cannabis from its current group of Schedule 1, which includes LSD and heroin, under the Controlled Substances Act to Schedule 3, where it will be categorized alongside therapeutics such as ketamine. Trump's action comes we've just had a new member.
Mandarin 6 has become a member.
Thank you very much indeed. If you become a member in the stream or do a comment or a super chat, it will read it out and it will remain on our video forever. We edit nothing out. So consider becoming a member. There's the membership link, or do a super chat. If you do a super chat, by the way, it will promote this video because YouTube makes more money, so it stands to reason they're going to share this out to more people. So tap the like, subscribe, do a super chat. If you like this sector and you want it to trend for tomorrow, for Monday morning, do yourself a favor and do a super chat if you'd like to support it. Trump's actions come as a regulatory process to implement the reclassification remains stalled at the DEA following a legal challenge filed by several rescheduling parties. Trump's executive order, expected as early as Monday, will mark a major regulatory milestone for the industry. Julian Lin, Seeking Alpha investing group leader for Best of Breed Growth Stocks, wrote, "This is highly significant for the financials of the cannabis operators," he added, noting that rescheduling will allow firms which are currently not able to deduct operating costs to pay more normal income tax rates. This is a huge advantage to the companies if this comes off. All right, let's move on to the next part of the story. So please tap the like button and be part of it, and we'd love to welcome you as a family member as well. So Trump's executive order on cannabis rescheduling expected on Monday, said CNBC. Cannabis stocks extended a pre-market gains in regular trading on Friday after CNBC reported that President Donald Trump is expecting to sign his much anticipated executive order to reclassify marijuana as a less dangerous drug as early as Monday. The president is actively drafting an executive order on rescheduling to be released on Monday, according to the report, which cited a source familiar with the matter. Now, I've told you before, and I've said it again, I am fortunate to have a press room White House contact, and I was able to bring you the news on the exact price at the exact time months ago when I told you what it was going to do. You may remember that. So I have no reason to believe that this isn't going to happen on Monday. However, I'm going to come on to the warnings in a few moments and just suggest a few things to consider before you rush out to set your buy order on Sunday night. All right, so let's go now into the balance sheet, and then I'll give you all of my thoughts on the business itself, on what we might expect on Monday, and how best to navigate it. Because there's no reason for anyone to lose money, and we certainly don't want that to happen. All right, so let's show you now the business. So far, you've been looking at seeking alpha. This is alpha spread. This is how I do my balance sheets and so on. Coming up now, it's in the chat. There it is, alpha spread. Also, look below the live stream or videos. You will find my links to alpha spread. All my members get a fantastic discount. It makes it just a couple of bucks a month. Right. So first of all, let's start with the intrinsic valuation of the business. Intrinsic valuation is regarding this as undervalued by 9%. So not undervalued by 80, 90%, the stock price would dictate, but just 9%. And we draw that conclusion from the profits and the margins and so on we've just been speaking about. I'll show you in more detail the balance sheet in a second. So we are undervalued by 9%. So don't get too carried away that the stock is free where it is now. That's the base case. The best case would be under 18%. Well, I've produced over 40% this year just by owning the S&P. It's not about price, it's about value and conviction. Worst case scenario, it's actually overvalued at 5% over. So consider that just for a moment before you rush out to buy. I don't want anyone to lose. No reason to lose. Okay, scroll down here. Let's look at revenue. Well, revenue is up 1% and expecting it to climb. But of course, with this news, technically, revenue could accelerate. Operating income is moving up and expecting to improve. We're up 11%. Net income is up 2% and expecting that to increase. Free cash flow with no forward projections, but we're up 24%. Operating cash flow up 36%. EPS down 7.23. Earnings per share. No surprise there. Scrolling down, we'll look at the balance sheet. The balance sheet is my Bible. A balance sheet is everything. This is why I don't lose, because I study balance sheets. If you want to do the same, there is the link to Alpha Spread and you have the tools that I have. All right. So 2.1 billion in assets, of 264 million is in cash. That's the right balance. If we look at that, we want cash, but not too rich. 12.72%. That's what we want. We want the company to have some cash, but not just a cash business like we've shown you business before that are just all cash, no assets. They're just a bank. Well, you might as well put your own money in the bank if you're going to do that. Remembering the cash position then, 264 million. Let's look at the liabilities of the company. 8.2 million in debt with, remind ourselves, 264 million in cash. 264 million in cash. Short-term debt, 8 million. However, long-term debt, 272 million. 272 million in long-term debt. 264 million in cash. So we're very close being able to pay off all our debts. Good. We like that. Let's get back to liabilities and show you in what it looks like. Short-term debt, 1.5%. Long-term debt, 50%. However, we have the cash to just about pay off all the debt. That is key. And with reclassification, suddenly the money can come in. All right, let's look at this now. Now then, when you talk about a business, you talk about the profit, the gross margin. That's where we start. Not interested in the gross margin. We care about the net margin. What do we end up with? Negative 258. We're not making any money. We're losing money. All right, that's not what we want. FCF margin, negative 11%. ROCE, negative 3.3. Now, if you're wondering what these what metrics mean, you can hover over the software I provided here and it'll explain it all. You can compare things with each other. This software is the best software on the internet that I use for analyzing businesses. Everybody should get this. I know the CEO personally, and we've got such a good deal for our members. We've got our own page on the website, and you can literally get this for a couple of bucks a month with the free trial. It's fantastic. Let me give you alpha spread. I mean, it is, if you're investing by buying a single share of Tilray, you've just paid for the next few months your analysis for the business. So everyone should have this. There you go. ROA, again, you can see what that stands for, return on assets. So you can see it's not looking great at the moment. No surprise there, really. So profitability, 26. It's as virtually low as you get. It's bright red. Profitability is rubbish. Everything is not good. Operating margin is increasing and the gross margin is increasing. But at the end of the day, the rest of it is just amber, and it gives us a 26 score. What about solvency? Are they going to go bust? Well, as I've shown you, the company isn't making really much money. Profit is rubbish, but it does hold some cash. It can pay off its business. And with what's about to occur, if it does occur, then things can turn around. Long-term solvency, good. Low DE, good. Short-term is good. Positive net debt, we don't like it, but they have the cash to pay it off. That gives us a score of 57. Not great, but not bad either. 57, you can buy it knowing it's not going bankrupt in the short to medium term. Where do Wall Street see it going? They see a 29% downside. However, that was before Donald Trump, if he does, sign the deal on Monday. So that might change. You can use your software and see how the news changes that. But right now, 29% downside. On the average, and I would say we are in an average conditions at the moment, interest rates are coming down. That affects this sector. However, there are still some uncertainties. But if Donald Trump signs the order, this could be good for that. 42% on the upside. So you definitely can beat me with the S&P, right? 116% on the highest forecast, which is certainly likely if we get the deal on Monday. So can we 10x? Well, according to this, we can 1x. We can double our money, not 10x it. All right. Okay, so let's now give you my thoughts on this as we wrap this up for you and see if you agree with me. All right, so I've got some. I wonder when this came out. 1 day ago. This came out 1 day ago, so I'm going to use this. I think this is relevant, so I'll bring it to you. Just 1 day ago. All right, I'll share this with you. I don't like doing news that's not relevant, but this is relevant. It's only 1 day old, so let's talk about it. Otherwise, I don't like to do it. Here we go. Let's hear from CNBC just 1 day ago.
Behind, of course, the Amplify Seymour Cannabis ETF, which surged nearly 55% today. Its best day on record. Such a good day that Tim comes to us in a hoodie. Tim,
in a hoodie. We're talking cannabis. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? So
the rescheduling, that has been something that investors are hoping for. It seems like you get a whiff of it, the stocks go up. You say this is for real this time. Why?
A whiff, no pun intended. So I think it is real. I think it's always been real. I think even at the end of the Biden administration, the idea of rescheduling was out there. Remember, this doesn't require a congressional follow-through, doesn't require legislation. This is an administrative order. Trump's been very clear all along. The question was, could we get this in front of Trump, and could it be something that has enough of a priority? It's very clear that the industry has engaged Washington in a way that I think is much more sensible, been much more focused. I think there's no question that top CEOs have been in Mar-a-Lago, have been in D.C., have been working with the president's team. I think there's no question that RFK Jr. and the HHS and even Dr. Oz have weighed in on this, and important people around the president have said Schedule 3 from Schedule 1 makes a ton of sense. And I don't think this is even that controversial, even in a world of bipartisan dynamics. In fact, I think the call Wednesday night that is spoken about in the Washington Post article that was out last night between President Trump and Speaker Johnson is one that just really kind of explained what can happen. And the question is on the timing. The implications for this are incredible for the industry. And I do think that this is the kind of a domino to fall that would get other things going that don't necessarily have to be legislative follow through either, including exchange listings, which I think is the holy grail here, because that really would bring in institutional capital. If you're investing in cannabis here, there's not institutional capital.
Right. And that's what I wanted to go to. We have the screen up, Tim, in terms of the domino effect, or the different tentacles, the different ways stocks will benefit. It's not just that the products themselves are no longer, regulated in the same way as a cocaine, for instance. It's all these other effects, including listings, including access to capital, et cetera.
So Schedule 3 effectively, legalizes the medical cannabis market. But it absolutely does mean, understand that as a Schedule 1 drug, cannabis is taxed in a way that basically gross profits are absolutely taxed. It makes it almost technically impossible for companies to be profitable in any way. Vertically integrated companies can work within, accounting constructs to be more profitable. But this has huge implications right now for free cash flow. And this is something that the industry, at a time when a number of big companies have also actually pushed and rolled out some debt, have actually dealt with restructuring debt and have more to go. I think it's very important. It's potentially important for the 25 calendar year where there are taxes payable. If this gets done before the end of the tax year, it could actually be a boom even for 25 free cash flow. But more importantly, it really would be arguably the most important moment in Catalyst from a DC perspective. Again, this wouldn't be legislation. This would be administrative order. I think a lot would follow from here. We've heard headlines before. The sources I have in DC, the dynamics that I know have been going on for the industry now for months. Remember, we started getting real talk of Trump doing this in August. By the way, CNBS closed at the highs, but also at the high level of where prices went at the end of August. A lot of cannabis stocks did. We were on record volume. I think this does feel different.
So there you go. There's a little bit of a piece from CNBC. So now let's focus on this. We've gone through the news. We've gone through what we're going to expect on Monday. Will it happen? It may happen. We don't know. It's expected to happen. It's been promised to happen, but you need to be aware of a few things before you rush out to set your buy order, because my job is to help and support, not just entertain, but to teach and share my thoughts with you, and for you to be able to make an informed decision. You've gone for the numbers. You understand now the scale of the business. You can see it's not making profit because of tax. It's in a healthy business. It can pay off its debts. It's just kind of going sideways for the moment. Can we change that? Well, I'm going to go through these points and then I'm going to answer everyone's questions. If you want to take part in the show, you want to call in, you might want to be on the show, ask me a question. Everybody can ask me a question. So in a few moments, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the phone line. Here it is. I'm now going to open up the phone line now and give everyone the chance to join in. So let me do this now. And we got some polls. So live video phone in. So if you want to be on the show and discuss this, you can. Everyone gets a voice. Members only, of course. We don't want trolls calling in and just shouting and swearing. So there you go. If you want to be on the show, consider becoming a member. It's only a couple of bucks, right? So there's a live video phone in. Now then, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my points as we wait for you to call in. You just click on the link and you can call in. We can have up to 10 people live on the show. First come, first serve. You can be on the show with me and you can have your say today if you'd like to be part of it. Right. But first of all, let's go through a few things here. All right. So we talked about Tilray. Other businesses are the same. It's going to have the same effect, but Tilray's got an exceptionally good balance sheet. If you consider the cash, it can pay off its debt. If profits are freed up by tax rescheduling, of course, then it can do really well. Donald Trump, we spoke about that on Monday. Will he sign the executive order? Well, we're going to cover it live. I'm going to make certain we will be there live. So on the homepage of the channel, you might like to go and bookmark the event. This is the event in the morning, on Monday morning. Okay, it says here, upcoming live streams. You're watching this one now, and there's this one here. If I refresh the screen, you'll find it. I can give it to you as well. If you want me to give you the link, there we are live right now. Scroll down, upcoming live stream. There it is on December the 15th. So I'll give you the link now in the chat. Share, copy. Whoops a daisy. Let me just do that for you. Copy the link. There you go. Drop this in here. There is the link for Monday. We'll cover Donald Trump live. We'll be monitoring it all day. All the other businesses in the sector as well. So make sure that you don't miss anything. Pump and dump. Well, it could be a pump and dump for the reason that we have had many people in the sector sell out, or many people underwater waiting to get their money out. So the moment it pops up, they could dump the stock just as quickly. So be very, very careful if you are considering on buying. There are lots of people just waiting to dump it and take their profit. So it could be a pump and dump. However, it does change the business's outlook completely. And it can, like I've always said, with this done, with the whole scheduling done, we have a $40 stock. Well, now we have a $100 stock because we've completely watered down the business, so it's completely different to what it was before. So now it can go to $100 because the price is different now. The board have been infighting. They've been taking their profits, and there's a lot of disagreement with Erwin Simon, so it's not all peace in the camp. 10X, well, could it 10X? Many are calling for a 10X. I can't see that. However, I could see it going to... I could see it possibly going to $80, $90, $100, which would be close, but not a 10X, I don't think. Anyway, and this is very short term I'm talking about. Now then, what's most important? What affects you most? Any successful investor or trader considers these things. Your job, in my opinion anyway, is to acquire stock, acquire businesses that provide you with an income in the future. That is the focus, not the price today or trading in and out. It's acquiring great businesses at better prices and building a portfolio from the bottom. That is my strategy, and that's what's taken me from $5,000 to $288 with no options, no shorts. I've never shorted a position, and I'm up 41% year to date. With until 2 days ago, 3 days ago, all I owned was the S&P 500. So I think you'll agree I've done okay, right? So it's to prepare your portfolio so the day when you need it, you have it. I don't buy any business or any stock that I can't own for the rest of 10 years at least. All right? Do you want to own a cannabis business? Do you want to own Tilray? Some of you might not care about that. You just want to trade the momentum, get in, get out. And that's fine. But I prefer to always make money, and if you own the business, you can make money without the fear, without the stress. Now, I asked you this question. I said to you, what affects you most? And what I mean by that is this. If you bought Tilray on Sunday night and it popped up and it went up 10x, and Donald Trump did what he said he was going to do, and everybody bought it, and nobody dumped it, and there's a lot of assumptions, and it popped all the way up, would you hold it all the way to the top? Would you reach the top? Would you start buying in on the way up and then get dumped, and then you're now out of the money? There's lots of things that can happen. So what I ask you is this: what affects you most? What affects you most? What I mean by that is, if you ended up 10x, and on Monday, you've gone from a Ford Focus, a Ford F-150 to a Lamborghini. Would that be better? Or would it be worse? What would affect you most if you lost all your money? Because that's what can happen if you trade momentum like this. When everybody's waiting to get out, things might not happen the way they want. It's a very speculative stock. Very volatile stock. So what affects you most? What would make you feel better or worse the most? If you woke up on Monday and you've now got a Ferrari, would you even care? Or would you care a lot more if you lost all your money? Now, I ask myself this every time before I buy anything, and 9 times out of 10, I answer to myself, I would rather not lose my money than gain money. Why? Because if you do the right thing over a period of time, you'll achieve what you want without the drama and the stress, and I will definitely make it to the day I need the money. However, if you risk it and you go all in on something and it doesn't go well and you don't catch it at the right moment, and many things can go wrong, you could lose all your money. And what would affect you most? Losing everything or gaining everything? So I was looking at it and I was thinking, right, should I put $10,000 in? Let's assume I put $10,000 in and I double my money. So I go from, let me show you my portfolio. I go from, where are we? 288,000 to 298,000. What difference does it make to me? None. Am I going to go out and buy a Ferrari or do anything? No, I don't want anything. All right. However, what if I lost $10,000 because everybody pumped it and dumped it before I had a chance to get out, and I went down to 278,000? I would hate that. I would really hate that, and I'd feel stupid because I don't lose. 108 trades now, 103 wins. I don't lose. So I don't want to lose my money more than I want to make money. So we've done the analysis. The business looks good. The cash position looks good. The price can move violently on Monday. It probably will. It definitely will. We'll cover it live. I'm sure we'll rank #1 in the world for it on YouTube. We'll cover Donald Trump live. It will be an explosive moment. But people will pump and dump. People will take profit. When it starts going up, people will short it straight away. You will be in a very violent sea. So what do you care about most? Losing your money or gaining your money? Now remember, if you've only got $100 and you double your money, you make $100. Is it life-changing? Is it worth it? But how would you feel if you lost all of your seed money? These are things I want everyone to consider before they take a position, because I don't want anyone to lose. No one has called in. Nobody wanted to be on the show and have their voice. Okay, so we'll forget that. I'll now go to comments and questions. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it on to members only. That way I don't miss anybody. I want to make sure I've answered every single question. If I get time after that, I will then go to non-members and see if I can answer everybody else's questions. But I'm not sponsored by anyone, paid by anyone. I'm here to help. I go live, unedited, unscripted, to try to help you. So what I'm going to do now is go to members only, just so I can answer all of my members. If I then get through them, I'll do general subscribers. So let's go. BTC dropped more than 80. I can see red. I'm not sure what that means. Martyn said the M word. Stay down, YouTube. All the Trump speech equals bid Greg Candle, says Gorda lads. It's cheaper nowadays than it was back in the day. When do you think Bitcoin will drop, on Monday or the 18th or 19th? I think the chance of a yen carry trade unwind is 90% likely. It's worse than I thought, and I thought it was bad enough because the Fed are now propping up AI. Banks are rallying. It's very much like 08, the market crash of 08. Worse actually in valuations and the housing crisis. I think we could wake up for Christmas and the stock market could easily be down 40%. Will that happen? Of course, nobody knows, but you have to be prepared for it. And you can see it already happening by how much money I made on Coca-Cola just on Friday night. My Coca-Cola was bought under value and it rallied. I started to trim. I started to take money off the table. I've now got $130,000 left in Coca-Cola. Where have I put it? I've moved it into SGov. There is my SGov. $67,000. I took a lot of profit from Coca-Cola. It did exactly what I expected it to do. All the Lucasades would have won with me because I was sharing all my trades online. Not that you should follow me, but if you were doing what I was doing, you've all made tons of money. I've now got a smaller position in the S&P. I'm 18.28 in there, 44 grand. I'm flat on it at the moment, but I'm expecting anywhere between a 5 to 40% drop. Of course, on crypto, that'll be 80% drop. At worst case scenario. It's got plenty of room for growth. Yes, it has. Woods, today, tomorrow, we are drop. Good time drop. I'm not sure what Gord is saying here. You think with it being cannabis, they wouldn't be in debt, said Samuel. Hello, mate. Awesome concert yesterday. Oh, thank you for tuning into the music show. Appreciate it. If you don't know what he's talking about, there is my music channel. I was voted by Elton John as the world piano man. I put a concert on in the studio behind me every Friday. It's highly taxed and regulated business. It is, Woods. Plus they were startups at the time. Plenty of time to grow. Twir says hemp is a high protein, 25%, 30% protein by weight. I can't confirm that. He's a non-member, but I've shared your thoughts. The great and powerful Oz has said Tilray is rubbish and wouldn't touch it, said Vanessa Griggs. Vanessa, sad you're not a member anymore. Sorry to have lost you. Brian Bynum, LOL Vanessa. True, said Woods. Wussar Vanessa. Okay. We're now going to members only. I just wanted to make sure I got through some comments before I went members only. Thank you for the gift yesterday. You are welcome. Top of the daisy. Top of the tea to you, Vanessa. Good afternoon, Diesel. You think Martyn will learn Your Love by the Outfield? I've got a long list of songs to learn. I can certainly learn it, but I have to focus on my members' requests first. I'm up 35% off the momentum from the Friday run. But cannabis wasn't the only stock I traded, Asian Medical as well. Do we think that Bitcoin will dump on Monday? I can't predict whether it will dump on Monday, but if we get the carry trade, it's down up to 80%. Thanks for the coverage. This in detail. You're very welcome, James. Brian, big industry wins over the people. Terrible. Yes, thanks for covering this. You are welcome. Great show, Martyn. Love your commitment from Glasgow, Scotland. Great to have you here. I've performed at the Edinburgh Festival at the George Theatre in George Square. Lovely to have you here. LOL, the market takes a hit and the retail like, ooh, cannabis stocks, nice. Just remember, if we do get the yen carry trade, all stocks will sell off. It's not they will, defensive stocks will take some of the brunt. That's why I'm in Coca-Cola, but they won't be immune from it. And Tilray will go down with everything else. It would be the same as going down like crypto. It's a high risk stock. With upcoming Japan announcement, will XRP dump or pump? With upcoming Japan announcement, XRP, I don't know why people ask this as if it's a separate thing. Sadly, there are people online who are selling you all kinds of nonsense, literally selling you custodian packages. Why anyone would pay someone to do that, I don't know. Hold your own coins for free. But people keep saying that when the carry trade occurs, which it already is happening, hence the market is already selling off, hence crypto is already going down, that XRP will somehow rally because it will save the day. It's not the case at all. The thing is I like best about rescheduling is that people are finally about to get more educated on not only cannabis, but the business that deal with it. Thank you, BJ. I wouldn't buy until regulation is clear. Well, again, now that's a very, very good point, Samuel Redner. I'm going to applaud that because as an investor, and the reason why I don't lose on my trades and why I'm doing well on my positions is I would rather wait until I know before I move. Now, people will say, well, you missed the boat, and yes, you do, kind of. But if you never lose, the wins always outweigh the losses and then some wins. Donald Trump made mistakes, but he doesn't make mistakes anymore like he used to. When he was younger, he was making lots of mistakes. No one ever talks about it, but he did. Now he goes about it a lot differently. When I started, I made lots of mistakes. Now I don't lose because I would rather know. I don't want to guess. And I don't want to speculate, because when you got money, you want to protect it. Because if you only lock it up in T-bills or the S&P, you're always going to make money regardless, because inflation devalues money, so stocks go up. It's not a magic trick. They go up because of prices. Money is deflated over time with inflation. So it comes devalued. So if you're not guessing and you wait, I would rather buy Tilray at $50, knowing, reading the balance sheet, the growth it has, that it's going to 100, because I'll double my money without the risk. And I will win. And that way I can put $1 million in. And I could put $1 million in if I really wanted to. So at the end of the day, a lot of investors will wait until they know, because they don't want to risk their money. There's always a risk, but when you're speculating, yes, you could get bigger returns, but bigger losses. And if you lose big, it's hard to recover. And 9 times out of 10, you'll lose. So anyway, that's a very wise decision. I wouldn't buy until regulation is clear. Always take profits. Absolutely. I trimmed from Coca-Cola over the weekend. I'm up. I moved into T-bills. So I don't mind if the market opens up or down. If the market opens down on Monday, it's great. I've got money again to buy. If the market is up, I've got money in to trim. I win if it goes down or up, because I'm not in options and I don't short the market and I don't guess. All right. Okay, if you take profits, then the stock market is always there next day, but sometimes profits are not. Very wise, James. It's more like gamble buying, Tilray, the now don't gamble what you can't afford to lose. Or take out the initial investment from the profits and hold the rest. How much did the gain or lose with the Coca-Cola? How much did he gain or lose with this Coca-Cola? How much did I gain? I can't remember the exact profit now. I shared it on Friday. I made a very good gain. I didn't lose any money. I used my lot to sell from the top to lower my average. If I go back to Coca-Cola, and I'll show you, you can see I've reduced my position. My average, I started, I think, at 71.98. I'm now at 69.09. I've built a position. It's 53% of my portfolio, 130,000. I started by losing money, and now I'm up 1.91, which is 2,450. I've taken the profit without paying tax because I use lots at the top, and I put that money into T-bills. And if you look at my T-bills has gone back up again, and there is my T-bills, currently $67,000, making money, guaranteed 100%. When people say they put the money in cash, smart money is cash equivalents, which is short-term T-bills. That's what money does. That's what the Fed are now doing. The Fed announced it on the FOMC report. They are now buying short-term treasury. Short-term treasury is SGov. That's what I've been doing for the last 6 months. How did I answer that one? Not worth it, says OWJ. Okay, well now I've got to all the members. I gave a few non-members the chance to speak because we were waiting for them to populate. Now we have members-only comments. Here we go. Smash the like, said Slim Jim. I can't read that out. I would only trade this in my Roth, but I'm maxed out for the year and like what I'm invested, so I ain't selling nothing for this. I'm going to sit back and watch the show. Ninja Cowboy, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. What about SPCE? We're focused on Tilray today, I'm afraid. SPC not good. Weak management once again diluting the shareholder. Buying Tilray is buying Tilray like going black or red at the casino. It is. I'm in Tilray, says Mike. Now, Mike is an example, a perfect example. Mike bought at a much higher price. It started to fall and fall and fall, so Mike is out of the money. So it'd be interesting to see, Mike, what are you going to do when it pops up? Are you going to sell it and get your money back? Or are you now going to leave it in for it to take off and make a profit? What are you going to do, Mike? Let me know. 25 shares of Tilray is enough for me. Bought 25 shares of MSOS also. Hi, Mike. If I enter an order on Hood and the price is different, higher from when I ordered, what happens? You don't get it. It's as simple as that. If you put a limit order to buy Tilray on at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday night, you can do that. You have access to the overnight market. I don't think Tilray is on the 24-hour market, though. Not all are. Virgin Galactic isn't. I don't think it is. It might be. Don't quote me on that. I don't think it is. But if it is, at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, you could buy Tilray. However, if you set a limit order, let's say $13, because you want to buy it 53 cents lower than it is now, and it opens at $16, it won't go through. And it won't do anything until it hits that price. You also need to make sure you set it for overnight trading as well, not just after hours, overnight, subject to it being available overnight. I'm not sure Tilray is actually, but we'll find out. We'll find out soon enough. Okay. In fact, I could probably tell you, because if I go through here, 11, 12, 3, 10, 11, 12, 3, 1, 2, no. It appears it's not, because it would show overnight. If I go to the S&P 500, whoops, a daisy. If I go to the S&P, for example, which does trade like that, and I go on a week, you will see 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go, 2 a.m. See, look, overnight. 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 2 a.m. See? So that kind of confirms to me that Tilray is not on the list of overnight action. So you won't get any chance to buy until pre-market. Pre-market opens at 6 a.m. Central Time, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. You could do pre-market, but the same deal will apply. You have to set a limit order, and it has to be below the limit order to get it, not above. Okay. Hi, Stephen, says Mike. Hey, Mike, nice one. Green Gang is back. Just rejoined the show. I agree with Martyn. That's why I said what I said on my show today. Just hold now, said Vaz. Hi, Craig. A great show, by the way, this morning. Vaz, congratulations, mate. Vaz, hello there. Green Gang, long time. Hi, James. Good evening. Hi, buddy. Coming in hot from Louisiana. Mike, enjoy trimming if you do. Hi, Ninja. I'm so burned out on hopium. That's the reality, I'm afraid. People that guess who live on hopium, 95% of day traders lose. If you are a value investor, trader, investor, same thing, makes the difference. Nothing wrong with trimming positions. But if you focus, very, very important, if you focus on value, and not guessing and hopium, you'll consistently win over time. You'll beat everybody. And that's enough for me. Remember, I sold all my 800 shares for a loss. You said you're in the stock, so I'm confused. Remember, I sold my 800 shares for a loss. Yes, you did. However, I think you were you saved money, right? Because you sold for a loss and it's gone down a lot more since then. Remember, folks, we are in a split price at the moment. So it's a lot worse than it actually looks, remember. So it might be up so much, but remember, we've just gone through a split price anyway. Anyway, Mike, hi, in March. Hi, Brian. Do you think the new the reverse carry trade is priced in? No. No, it's not priced in. Never in the history of the stock market did we price in a full-on crash. Never. The housing bubble wasn't priced in. The 08 wasn't priced in. The 1930s, the 1948, 1977. None of these events, I think 92, none of these events were priced in. They just happened because the market overreacts. The market is always greedy, and and thinks it's never going to happen. We talk about it, we say it, but very few people prepare for it. I am prepared for it. I hope it happens. I hope it happens, because what it means, I understand my businesses that I own are strong, so they're fine. What it means is the price of the business will go down. The business will not perform less. All right. So what will happen is people will be forced to sell because Japan will raise rates on the 19th of December. And when that happens, and if that happens, of course, it's not guaranteed, but if that happens, people will be liquidated. They'll be selling shares automatically. They'll have no choice. So share prices will go down. The businesses haven't gone down. The prices have gone down. So I hope it happens, and I'm prepared for it. Whichever way it goes, it won't make no difference. Like the analogy, says Brian, I'm going to buy and win, says Mike. Buy. SEC, sex. Yeah, we're all having a go at Sensei, by the way. I have some now, tough and up. I have some now, though, and up. Good stuff. Get out of there, Mike. Get out of there. No, I'm not doing it. Up and away, says Mike. Space, my biggest speculation lost. Tilray 2. I never lose money now. I buy good markets and good companies. That's why I like oil. Always sell for a smaller profit and hold if I am down. Simple. Stu, final comment. I'm buying AI crypto called Teo Bittensaw and their treasury stock on Robinhood Teo Synergies too. They have the same system as Bitcoin, and their first halving event is tomorrow. All right, we've got through everything. I've answered everyone's question. I will go back now to general subscribers. So now everybody can ask me a question. I don't want to miss anybody out. No one gets left behind. No one gets ignored. Everybody has a voice on this show. I'm not sponsored by anyone or paid by anyone. I don't ask you to send me any money. I don't ask to do anything my way. It's all here for you, and we go live up to 12 hours a day, Monday to Friday. Okay, we're coming to the end now. There's a few moments. All non-members and general subscribers can now comment. Tap the like button if you like this message and you want to share it out. Consider subscribing as well. And now I'm going to give you my final thoughts of this trade and see if you agree with me or not. First of all, I'm going to unpin that from the comment. Unpin there. All right, we're going to end the poll. 274 votes. Will we 10x on Monday? 45% of you have said yes. 31% say no. Undecided say 24%. All right. We've also got potentially a more reliable than on X. About the same as in our show. This is what trends on Google. We call it the Lucas Archie. It's on our community posts. Many of you have probably already voted for it. I'm going to find out now. Let me put that in the link there in the chat. There it is. So let's see. I asked you, would it 10x on Monday? Yes, no, or undecided. So I'm going to refresh this. This was posted just about an hour ago, just before I came on air. Let's have a look at what you say on the community pages on the channel. 148 votes. There we go. Very, very similar to what we've had in the show. 45% say yes. 37% say no. And 18% say undecided. Now, I'm going to look on X. Now, remember, X is not my audience. It's anybody who wants to say anything, trolls and everything you like. So I expect this to be more volatile. Less votes, because we get more people actually engage as members than troll on X. But I expect the numbers to be all over the place. Let's see if I'm right. So let's go to X and see what you said. I'll refresh the screen to make sure it's completely up to date. On X, I'm running the same poll. On X, you think this. Let me scroll down, and there we go. Less votes. See, a lot less. I said it would be a lot less, didn't I? But when people vote, it's just crazy. This is why X is nuts. This is why X is nuts. Why I don't take any information from X. You could take you could take information from my channel, from my profile, because everything I put on here, you can fact check me. You can click the grok sign here, and everything I say is verified, true, factual. Don't make anything up, and you'll see it every time you click on my grok. It will give you an opinion of me, and it will say this information is true and genuine. Yada yada yada. Do it for everybody else, and you'll find most people that talk on X just make up a load of nonsense. So please go and do that. It's important. So I've got less votes as expected on X, but 76%, it's always dramatic. It's either pump it or dump it. It's never a balanced approach. And that's what we've got today. So don't take any notice of that. I would say the chance of it being up on Monday is what we're saying here, 45, 50%. Do I think it's going to 10X? Probably not. To be honest, I don't think it will 10X. I think it could double on Monday. That would be a 2X. So I would have said no to that, but it will do well. And most people will be very, very happy with that. If you want to take part in on X, there's my X and there is my Instagram. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank you all very much for tuning in today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm now providing another new service you might notice on all of my socials. So X, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, obviously YouTube, but what's it called? TikTok. Everywhere I give you my videos now to try to help you get information. And I put them into short form as well to give you a few headlines. And I like to put the text on. It takes a bit of time, but I put the text on so you can see it. If you want to mute it and whatever, you want to follow me and get a quick blast of facts without watching the whole video. All kinds of stuff like this I do now to try to give you more information quicker and so on and so forth. So consider follow me on X and Instagram and all those places. I would very much appreciate it. Now then, look out for the event tomorrow, on Monday, I beg your pardon. On Monday, there it is, upcoming live stream. That'll be the live event. We'll also cover Donald Trump live as well. We want to see what he says and see how the stock reacts to it. So there it is. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much indeed. And I think we'll wrap it up. So that's it from me. I'm going to get back to my weekend off. I wish you all the very best. I look forward to seeing everybody back with Sensei tomorrow night for the Electrum show. That's a live game show where you learn stuff and we give away prizes for Electrum members. And of course, our Christmas shop is open now. These are all limited. Now, all limited, only a few left of each. We've got a small, medium and large mug, Christmas mugs with myself, Sensei and Vaz in our Christmas jumpers with the silver play button. If you'd like to get anything from the shop, don't forget if you bundle, you can send things to different addresses for Christmas presents. You can also, when you bundle, you get discounts. If you buy a few mugs, you might get a free one. You earn points on the shop and you can benefit from that as well. So there is a shop if you want to get yourself a Christmas mug and all the rest of it. Right, last couple of comments. Hi, James says, Mike, Tilray trading live this minute on Robinhood. No, that is not true. That is not happening at all. Don't say that, please. Hi, Martin. Mike, you can use your loss on Tilray to pay the capital gains on anything else. Dollar for dollar. Bye, everyone. Yes, old buddy. Thanks. I will. All right. That's it from me. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm going to get back now to my weekend, and I wish everyone the best. Join Sensei for the Electrum show. I think I've got it set to go to... Where have I got this to go live to? We're going to go next to the... yes, we're going to the extra channel, so we're going to have a live watch on the extra channel. We're going to be watching the stock. I'm going to be in the chat. You can comment if things are happening, and you can chat about it as we approach the opening hours. Sensei's live right now. Well, he's not live. This is a restream from yesterday's show, but the chat is live, and you can go in here and communicate with each other. We have a paywall of 99 cents. It stops the bots, the trolls, and basically fools coming in talking nonsense. So that's where we're going next, live on the Extra. You can see it says restream here, and you can see me in the studio when I turn the camera on. It's off now because it's the weekend, and I walk around naked. Nobody wants to see that, right? So I turn that off. All right, the camera is back on again on Monday morning when I'm dressed again. But the weekend, I like to walk around. I don't. I'm only fooling with you. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend. Good luck. Be careful. And that's it from me. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye for now.